Mr. Mayor, President Tusk, Excellencies, friends, I am so proud to be here for this 7th forum and to have been a founding partner of this annual gathering. Let me thank the Mayor of Athens for such strong support, and although I don't see him here, the previous mayor who was also unstinting in his commitment. All of you as participants at this forum have a task before you that I hope will be inspired by Athens as a cradle of democracy, as well as the heroes and ghosts of ancient Greece. To illustrate to you how important that is, let me start with a current anecdote from a democracy much further north. Last month, the government of Sweden proposed scrapping from the general school curriculum the lessons about ancient Greece. Athens in particular used to be taught quite well there. This was meant to allow for more time on modern Swedish history. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, there was such a massive uproar among intellectuals, editorial writers, historians, experts throughout the country, not just in Stockholm, that the Swedish government had to reverse the decision. This ultra-modern society that Sweden is reinstated antiquity. Pericles is alive and well in the classrooms of Sweden. I mention this to illustrate how important ancient Greece still is to modern democrats and how fitting it is that this forum takes place in Athens. So I'm the head of the UN Democracy Fund, the only UN entity with the word democracy in its name, the only UN entity that exists to work directly with civil society to support democracy. From that vantage point, let me take a few moments to look at how much has changed since the first forum in 2013. It's a short time. Back then, inside the United Nations, discussions about democracy were practically unheard of within the organization. After all, in the UN, we are not all democrats. The word democracy appears nowhere in the UN Charter. About half the world's countries do not embrace it as a form of government or pay lip service to it or believe that democracy begins and ends with elections alone. We know here that this is not the case. In the UN, tradition, therefore, has been to state there is no one democratic model that fits all societies. There's no one pace that suits all countries. There's no yardstick by which all democracies can be measured. In other words, we spoke only about what democracy is not. We never spoke about what it is. But as the alarm bells have been sounding louder in recent years, all that has changed, and we talk about it quite a lot. As UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres says in his message to you, printed in your conference book, this forum takes place when trust is low and anxiety is high. You all know the dystopian trends. Maybe it makes sense that a shining exception can be found here in Greece itself. Against some formidable odds, democracy is doing pretty well here now. Congratulations. But for all of you here, this forum must be an opportunity to reconvert people around the world to democracy. And that means updating the traditional model by listening carefully to communities that feel threatened by change or left behind, exploring new democratic avenues beyond elections, exploring tools like citizens' assemblies that include randomly chosen members from all sectors of society, not just the political class, and it means taking young people very seriously. These are not easy questions, but if Athens did it 2,500 years ago, you can do the same this week. Be bold. Ask yourself, what would Pericles have done? I wish you luck. And now it's my honor to introduce the Mayor of Athens, Kostas Bakoyannis. Thank you.